Hi guys, welcome back to my new YouTube channel. My name is Hansa Michael Daniels and I am so sorry. I've been away for the longest of time. Well, life is lifing. A lot of things happened while I was away, and I will be updating us over the time. And for those of us that stuck along even while I was not active, thank you so much. And for those of us that are still here or that just joined us, thank you and welcome to the family. So we are going to be going a new route now. As much as we'll be posting tutorials, in between the tutorials we're going to be talking about real life events, what happened, blah blah blah, and we're going to be learning lessons generally from each other. Today we're going to be learning how to make a ruffled hat. So let's jump into the class, please. Hi guys, welcome to class. Like I said earlier, we're going to be learning how to make a ruffled hat today. And before we move along, let's go into our materials that we're going to be using. I'm going to be using this yarn. It's called Yeye Regular. It is a Nigerian brand yarn and it's 400 grams per ball. I'm going to be using this. I don't know how many balls I'll be using yet, but I'll update you as the class goes on. We're going to be needing our tape rule, of course. We're going to be needing stitch markers. I have a lot of them here in different colors. You can actually use this if you have it, or if not, you can use your bubble pin, anything, just anything that can hold something together. Then I'm going to be using my 4mm crochet hook. I'm going to be using my tape rule and my scissors. So let's start. So the first thing to start our ruffled hats, the first thing we'll be doing is to create a magic circle. And to create a magic circle, just watch me. You do it this way. You wrap your yarn around your finger. You hold it with two of your fingers like this. You hold it like this. Then you make 2 chains inside it. 1, 2. If you pull this and it pulls tightly, that means you succeeded in making your magic circle. So now that we have our magic circle made, the next thing we want to do is we want to place 10 double crochet into this magic circle. So watch me. For those of us that don't know how to make our double crochet stitch, you yarn over, you place it into your magic circle, you pull out, you have three loops on your hook, you yarn over, you pull through 2, you yarn over, you pull through the other 2. Now we've succeeded in making our first double crochet. We move on to continue making our double crochet until we have 10. So I have 2, I have 3, this is the third one I'm making, the fourth one, number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now that we have 10 double crochet in our magic circle, the next thing we want to do is we want to pull this rope that we left behind tightly. We want to put it tightly so that the middle of our magic circle can close tightly. So now that I've pulled it tightly, please be careful while pulling so that you don't break your yarn. Now that I've pulled it tightly, the next thing I want to do is I want to slip stitch into the first double crochet we have here, and this is mine. You slip stitch like this. Now we're done with the first row. The next thing you want to do is you want to chain 2. A chain 2 does not count as a stitch. The next thing we're going to be doing is place 2 double crochet into 1 stitch. We started with 10 stitches. When we place 2 double crochet into 1 stitch, we should have 20 stitches. So let's do that. This is 1, 2, the next one 1 and 2, the next one we have 1 and 2. So we continue placing 2 double crochets into each stitch until we go round. For those of us that cannot eyeball our first stitch, you can as well use your stitch marker, and that's why I have the stitch marker here. That's why I have my stitch marker here. So continue placing it. I'll meet you back when I've gotten to the other side. I'm back. I'm on the last stitch, so I'm going to just place 2 double crochet into this last stitch, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slip stitch into my first double crochet here. So this marks the end of the second row. Now let's move on to the third row. To move on to the third row, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to chain 2. Now we're going to be doing something different in the third row. Yes, we're going to be increasing, but in a different direction. The first thing we're going to be doing is we'll place 2 double crochet into the first stitch. In the next stitch, we place 1 double crochet. In the next stitch, we place 2 double crochet. In the next stitch, we place this one, we place 2 double crochet. So I'm placing the second double crochet. And in the next stitch, we're going to place 1 double crochet. So what we're going to be doing is 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 all the way across. So please try finish up yours and meet me at the other end. So now I'm on the last stitch. I'm going to add my last double crochet. Now at the end of row 3, you should be having 30 double crochets all across. So that I have 30 double crochet, I've done my last stitch. The next thing I want to do is I want to slip stitch into the first double crochet to close my work. Now the next thing I want to do is chain 2. For row 4, we're still going to repeat that pattern but in a different way. In this first stitch, I'm going to place 2 double crochet. In the next 2 stitches, I'm going to place 1 double crochet. In the next stitch, I'm going to place 2 double crochet. In the next 2 stitches, I'm going to place 1, and that will be the repeat for this row. So the repeat will be 2 1 1 2 1 1 2 1 1 2 1 1. So I'll meet you at the other end when I'm done with my row. So I'm on my last stitch, so I'm going to place my last one here. So don't forget, we said that row 4, this is 1 2 3 4, we're going to have 2 1 1 2 1 1 2 1 1 2 1 1 all the way across. So by the time you're done with row 4, you're supposed to have 40 stitches all the way across. Now I'm going to slip stitch into the first double crochet as we have done previously. So I'll chain 2. Now row 5 will have 2 in the first stitch and 1 in the next, 1 in the next, and 1 in the next. So what you are having in row 5 will be 2 1 1 1. Now let's go again. The next one will have 1 and 2. Then the next stitch you have 1 1 1. So this will be the repeat till the end of row 5. You're going to put 2 double crochet in one stitch and 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. 2 double crochet in the next and 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. I'm going to meet you at the end of row 5. I have my last 3 stitches, so I'm just going to place 1, 1 and 1. So don't forget, row 5 was a repeat of 2 1 1 1, and at the end of row 5 you should have 50 stitches. So I'm going to just slip stitch into the first double crochet. Now we've ended row 5 and this is what we have. We have 1 2 3 4 5, and at the end of row 5 we had 50 stitches. So to start row 6, you chain 2. Like I've always said, chain 2 this chain 2 does not count as a stitch. The next thing you want to do is you want to place 2 double crochet into that stitch you slip stitch into, and into the next 4 stitches you place 1 double crochet each. That's 2 1 1 1 1. In the next stitch you place 2 1 2. In the next 4 stitches you place 1 1 1 1. So the repeat for row 6 will be 2 in the first 2 in the first stitch and 1 in the next 4 stitches. That will be 2 1 1 1 1. 2 in the next stitch and 1 in the next 4 stitches. I hope you understand. So let's do it one last time before we go off camera to continue. So this will be 2 in this stitch, and in the next 4 stitches I have 1 1 1 and 1. So I'll meet you at the end of the row. So this is the second to the last stitch I'm making, and this is my last stitch here. So like we said at the beginning of this row, 1 2 3 4 5 6, at the beginning of row 6, that what we're going to be putting is 2 then 1 in the next 4 stitches. That will be 2 1 1 1 1, 2 1 1 1 1, 2 1 1 1 1. So for you to be sure that you're correct, at the end of the 6th row you're going to be having 50 stitches. Oh wait, let's count. I think I've made a mistake. It shouldn't be 50. So let me count. That'll be 2 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Oh sorry, this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32 33 34 35 36 37 38 39 40 41 42 43 44 45 46 47 48 49 50 51 52 53 54 55 56 57 58 59 60. So at the end of row 6, so we have 10, we have 20, we have 30, we have 40, we have 50, we have 60 at the end of row 6. So now we're going to slip stitch into the first one and we move to row 7. Chain 2. The first one will be 2 in the first one, then 1 into the next 5 stitches. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. 2 into the first stitch and 1 each into the next 5 stitches. That will be 1 2 3 4 and 5. So in the next stitch I'm going to put 2 double crochet, and in the next 5 stitches I'm going to put 1 2 3 4 and 5. So continue till we get to the end. I'll come back to meet you at the end of the row. I'm almost at the end of my row 7, and at the end of row 7 we should be having 70 stitches all around. So what I'm going to do is slip stitch into the first, and now we're going to be making our final increased row, which is row 8. So I'm going to chain 2, then put 2 double crochet into the first, 1, 2, and into the next 6 stitches I'm going to place 1 double crochet each, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Into the next stitch you're going to place 2 double crochet, and into the next stitch into the next 6 stitches you're going to place 1 double crochet each. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So continue till you get to the end of the row. I'll meet you there. So I'm done with row 8, and at the end of row 8 it should be having 80 stitches all across. So now this is the final, this is what our crown part look, that is the top part. This is what it looks like. So we're going to be measuring it. So from here to here I have 7 inches. So if you still have between 6 and 7 inches, whether you have 6 inches, 6.5 inches or 7 inches, you're fine depending on your tension. It's not compulsory we have the same number of inches because we're using different tension. Now we're going to be moving to our non-increased row. Non-increased row meaning that we're just going to be adding 1 into each stitch across. So I'm going to chain 2, then into the first stitch I'm going to add 1, then I'll continue putting 1 into each stitch until I get to the end of this row. Now don't forget, at our increased row we have 80 stitches. So it means if at row 9, this row 9, if I put 1 stitch into each stitch across, I'm going to be having 80 stitch all the way round. So now from row 9 to row 13, from row 9 to row 21, that's what I intended to say. From row 9 to row 21 was going to be doing practically the same thing. So what do I mean by we're going to be doing practically the same thing? From this row 9 till we get to row 21, we're going to be adding just 1 stitch across, just the way I'm doing. You had 1 stitch across. So let me walk this row with you, then we'll go off camera to complete the rest of the row. So this is row 9 that we're working on, and you can see that I'll work aside cuffing in. You put 1 stitch into 1 double crochet into each stitch across, just like I'm doing. 1 double crochet into each stitch across, and this is row 9. So I'm almost halfway through. Can you see that my work is already folding in? And this is what I have right now. I just keep on putting 1 stitch all the way across, 1 stitch all the way across, 1 stitch all the way across. and I'm almost at the end. Just, I think I'm halfway through, putting one stitch all the way across. So we're almost done with row 9, and what we did in row 9 is we had to put one stitch into each of the previous stitches. So at the end of row 9 we are supposed to have 80 stitches, because row 9 is a non-increase row, and moving forward we're going to be making non-increase rows, meaning that the number of stitches we're going to be having has to be constant, 80 stitches all the way. If you count your stitch and you don't have 80 stitches, it means you have either omitted or you have added, so you have to trace it back to check where you have made your mistakes. So I'm gradually coming to the end of row 9. So now that I'm at the end of row 9, this is my last stitch I'm doing. You can see that my work I started folding in. So I'm just going to fold it outward like this. Now this is the end of row 9, and this is what I have. I'm just going to slip stitch. So at the end of this row 9 I have 80 stitches. 80 stitches, because it's a non-increase row. So now I'm going to go off camera, and I expect you to do the same thing. To pause the tutorial, then you continue your work. You continue from row 10 until you have 21 rows. So this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. You continue until you have 21 rows. So when I've completed my 21 rows, this is row 10 that I'm doing. So when I get to row 21, when I'm almost done with row 21, I'm going to come back here to show you what I've got. Hi guys, so I ended up doing 16 rows instead of the initial 21 rows I told you before. I think I've had enough like this, so I have 16 rows, and this is what I have. I want to measure it. So at the end of my 16 rows I have 7 inches, and I think this 7 inches is perfect for me. So what I'll do next is, I already slip stitch. Now we're starting the ruffle part. So I'm going to just chain 2. For the ruffle part is quite easy, but also quite exhausting, so to say. So in this first stitch I'm going to put 4 double crochet, 2 3 and 4. So I'm going to put 4 double crochet into each stitch all the way across. That means each of the 80 stitches gets 4 double crochet. Don't forget, I said I made 16 rows instead of the initial 21 rows I said before. So I have 16 rows, and for the ruffle part, so I'm going to go off camera to continue this 4 into each of the stitch. When I'm almost done, I'll come back to show you. I'm almost at the end of the row 1 of the ruffle. As you can see, our ruffle is already forming, it's already taking shape. So I'm almost at the end. Now for this ruffle part, there's no fast rule to how many rows you should make though, because you're the one that knows how full you want your ruffles to be. For me, I'm going to be making 3 rows, and this is row 1 of the ruffled part. I'm almost done with the row 1. So what we're going to be doing to the row 2 is actually similar to what we did to the row 1. It's just that we're going to reduce the number of double crochet we're going to place in one stitch. In row 1 here, we're placing 4 double crochets in one stitch. We're placing 4 double crochets in one stitch. That's what we did in row 1. So moving forward to row 2. Now I slip stitch after the last row. This is what I have at the end of row 1. So for row 2, what I want to do next is I'm going to chain 2, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to place 3 double crochet into each stitch across. This is 2, this is 3. I go into the next, I place 3. So continue placing 3 double crochets into each stitch. Then when I'm close to the end of this row, I'll come back to show you what I have. I'm almost done with the second row of my ruffle, and in a bit I'll show you what I have. If you don't want your hat to be so much ruffled, you can actually leave it like this, but if you want, you can add the third row that we'll be making after this row. So in a bit I'll show you. This is still the second row, and very soon we'll move to the last row of ruffle for me. You can try to add one more row if you want the ruffle to be more. I think after the next row that we're going to be making, I'm okay with the ruffles. I don't want so much ruffle. So almost at the end, after this I have 2 more stitches to add the ruffles to. Then we move to the last row. So 1 more stitch to go, then I'll show you what we have. Then we move to the last row of ruffles. So I'm going to slip stitch into the first stitch. Then this is what my work looks like. This is what I have. This is what the ruffle looks like. So let's move to the last and final row of ruffle. Sorry. And I'm going to slip stitch. Then for the final rows of my own ruffle, what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, then into that same stitch I'm going to add 3 double crochet, 3 double crochet. Into the next I add 3 double crochet, into the next I add 3 double crochet. So I keep on adding 3 double crochets into each stitch until I come back to the starting point. So I'll meet you when I'm done and I'll show you the final result. Hi guys, so I just completed my 3rd row of the ruffle, and now I just want to fasten up and hide my tail. So I used 5 balls and a little bit out of the 6 ball, so roughly about 5.5 balls. Let's say 6 balls will be enough for you to make this ruffle hat. And this is it. I'm going to just hide my tail. Hide your tail however you know how to. If not, you can do it the same way I'm doing mine. Just make sure that this tail is well hidden and is not visible. You can also cut it off after hiding it a few. So this is what we have. This is the final result of my ruffled hat. So let me put it on so you see what it is like. So this is what we have without arranging our ruffle. I think the last thing you have to do is arrange your ruffle. Then if your hat is too big, you can make a very long chain and attach it around your hat so that you'll be able to tighten it. That's for those of us that do not make our hair. But if you make your hair or you are on wig and everything, this will fit you perfectly well. So thank you so much for sticking by till the end of the tutorial. Do well to like, follow and share. See you in my next video. Bye.